we often speak about cura personalis. We often speak about solidarity. We speak about being men and women for and with others. We speak about the magis. We speak about finding God in all things. These are words which, for us, connote a great deal, and it's. I think it's most important not that we necessarily can always articulate what those mean in crystal clear fashion, but it's important that we can identify what they look like. We look at it, yeah, that's cura personalis. That's us caring for the whole person. Or that's magis. That's us trying to do a little extra to make this community the best place it can be. Or that's our, I'm going to pause and just stand outside for a minute and take in this beautiful day and watch these kind of, dynamic students as they walk to class, laughing and telling stories, and that's kind of finding God in all things, soaking at the moments. So these things embody kind of our Jesuitness, if you will, which in some ways clarifies our Catholicness. And all of those things that I spoke of, are kind of Ignatian gifts that we speak of, are rooted in our Catholic tradition. So they come from this place. They're rooted in understanding Jesus, understanding the life of Jesus, understanding tradition, understanding Scripture. All of that stuff is connected, and it comes to life in those Ignatian gifts in some really wonderful ways.
This is really key, because if you think about all the work that goes on here, we've got our undergraduate students, our grad students, our weekend program, internships, all the different experiences that students may go through. We want people to be engaged and involved. We want students that graduate from Xavier that didn't just show up, take classes, and leave, even if they did live on campus. We want them to be involved in the Xavier community that exists within our campus, and then extending that to, we have our local community, regional, national, global. We look at all the opportunities our students have to study abroad, to take trips and participate in various programs that we have outside of the United States, and to really get out and see how they can contribute in a global basis. I like to think that we're increasingly each year preparing global ready students, because we can't be isolated anymore. we have to not only learn how to thrive in our own community, but we have to be very, very active and focused participants in the global community. And so I think we have an example to set here that I really love about being a part of Xavier. Is I think that we have that global mindset. We have lots to go, long ways to go, and keep growing and learning. But we've opened up, we've planted the seeds, and we've got some really good things in place. And if we can advance our mission from a great place like Cincinnati and take it out into the world, I love that phrase, go out and set the world on fire. Get out in the world, talk about who you are, talk about what you're about.
We're preparing students for the many chapters that will make up the rest of their lives. So if you look at that piece right there, support students as they cultivate lives of reflection, compassion, informed action. We're trying to prepare people not just to leave here with particular skills, although we do want them to do that. We want them to be prepared to live in the world in a particular way. And really we want them to be able to constantly be able to readjust when things change. Because as we all know, the world is constantly changing, and we also know that as we develop and grow and mature, we're constantly changing. And so the where do we fit in is constantly changing. The equation changes. So students regularly, we all know this as adults, we have to reassess. What am I interested in? What am I good at? What do I want to do? And then we have to apply those kinds of prompts to our personal lives, to our professional lives, to our community lives. And so we're really trying to prepare students for that, and we hope that they'll do it, and that in a way that's driven by a reflective spirit, a compassionate spirit, and that's informed in a really informed and thoughtful and deliberate way.
I love the term Xavier family, because to me, we're all part of everybody that touches us, whether they come here as as a student, a faculty member, a staff member, whatever role, whatever, and all the employees, whatever role they may be. I don't like to break people into all the groups, but we're all part of the Xavier family. And there's that very fast and instant bond, you know, and it takes the whole entire community, all the different parts of the university, and all of our relationships as we get out into the world and meet people and you know, interact with other universities, with, you know, going on global trips, when our students get jobs in the community. You know, people will say things like, you know, there's something different about the students from Xavier. You know, we want to get all the students we can from Xavier. You might not have the big numbers, you know, in terms of, you know, hundreds of graduates in a certain area, but we know that when we get somebody from Xavier, we know that there's somebody that we want to retain. And so, you know, in some ways, at least in my area, it's a quality versus a quantity. They'll spend just as much time trying to get 1 or 2 of our students as they might trying to get 20 from a university down the road. And that means a lot. You know, and the preparedness and the attitude that they bring along with them, especially for those that are engaged and have taken advantage of all that we have to give them here, they just shine immediately. You know, I look at how they navigate through their challenges, and it's remarkable.